Today's headlines. United Nations chief says Venezuela's government and opposition talks are needed to solve crisis. Guam residents have mixed reactions to North Korea's threat. UN chief says stand up to racism, xenophobia, everywhere and every time. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says there is simply no place for hate and violence in U.S. public discourse. U.S. President Trump's business councils are disbanded after CEOs quit in protest. Plus, colorful balloons paint the Jersey sky. Hello everyone, I am Ace Ramirez, bringing you stories from around the globe, and this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that to solve the country's political crisis, Venezuela's government and opposition needed to talk and compromise.
I urge the government and the opposition to restart negotiations because I believe that the only solution is a political solution based on those negotiations. Latin America has successfully managed to get rid of both foreign intervention and authoritarianism. And this is a lesson that is very important to make sure that this legacy is safeguarded, and namely in Venezuela. Both aspects of it.
Given all this media attention, thanks to North Korea's latest aggression, Guam residents have mixed reactions. EBC Guam's Irish Dale Gradam reports.
The island of Guam in the Marianas has obviously made headlines in recent days, given the prevailing threat by North Korea's nuclear strike capabilities, but the reality here has resulted in mixed reactions.
Michael Herreros, an instructor from the University of Guam, shares his concerns but also tries to maintain some normalcy in his daily living.
It's kind of threatening and kind of scary, but at the same time I don't want to worry about it too much. I know people are kind of talking about it and people are thinking of like calling in sick, taking off from work, but I know some people are just going about their day.
The young instructor does applaud the government's use of social media to keep everyone constantly informed.
I think it's very, very helpful that way because I know there's things that can go around really fast within a matter of minutes or seconds, and it spreads like crazy. And so if they continue keep doing that, it will at least give the community an opportunity to see what's going on or keep them updated.
Irish Davis has been through this before. She's also been aware of the mixed reactions as well as the government's efforts to maintain order and calm.
Just another tactic of North Korea. This happened already back in 2013. So even if you ask any of the residents at South Koreans, they'll just roll your eyes on you. And so frankly, it doesn't bother me. This is a constant, it's like a constant rhetoric from the North Koreans, especially since the passing of Kim Jong-un's father. He's, to the residents of South Korea, he's just trying to make noise, to tell the world that who he is, I'm here, I'm the leader. Since the increase of North Korean talks, the government have held daily briefings. We've had international media from all parts of the world. From Turkey to Dublin to Israel to UK. There's no increase of threat level to Guam. As a matter of fact, today they just released some fact sheets just to indicate preparedness kits of all basic information that you need to know. International media has sensationalized this. They've released stories stating that Guam residents are wary. I had 3 lunch plates today. We are not wary. And I think that the way the media sensationalizes just puts fear into people, to those overseas, whereas us Guam residents, it's like business as usual. Enjoy the beaches, business as usual. Yeah.
All right. Still, both Herreros and Davis have taken initiative in preparing their families for the worst-case scenario.
For my family, we actually got like our stuff together, passports, a set of clothes, some supplies in a single bag so we can just grab it and go if in case of emergency.
As preparing my family, we've already had an understanding that wherever everyone is, you stay put. We put our trust in God, and we just leave it to Him that He will take care of us in the event.
Meanwhile, out in the streets, the latest tensions have added fuel to the fire protests who clamor to change the status quo relationship between the territory and the federal government.
We need to stop the militarization of the world, especially Guam. It's a very small island. We have so many military people here. They want to build a firing range on this tiny, tiny island, and we are against it.
While many have expressed their concerns and have taken steps to prepare, they are also doing their best to make sure that life goes on in the Western Pacific. Reporting from the island of Guam, I am Irish Del Radam for Eagle News. I am 1 with 25.
Thanks, Irish Dale. Up next, UN chief says stand up to racism, xenophobia everywhere and every time. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says there is simply no place for hate and violence in U.S. public discourse. U.S. President Trump's business councils are disbanded after CEOs quit in protest. Plus, colorful balloons paint the Jersey sky. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return in a moment. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres told reporters racism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, and Islamophobia were poisoning our societies and called for everyone to stand up against them. Guterres made the comments at the UN a day after a wide-ranging news conference by U.S. President Donald Trump that drew backlash for his insistence that white nationalists and protesters opposed to them were both to blame for deadly violence in the Virginia city of Charlottesville.
I think that speaking as Secretary General, I should speak for the whole world, but speaking as a European, if there is something I am proud as a European is the contribution that Europe gave to world civilization with the values of the Enlightenment, tolerance, the respect for the other, the importance of the recognition of diversity, and to be able to stand for these values and to, at the same time, to condemn all forms of irrationality that undermine those values is essential at the present moment, be it in the United States or everywhere else in the world. Unfortunately, these demons are appearing a little bit everywhere.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said hate and violence have no place in U.S. public discourse. Lynn Pence reports.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said on Wednesday there is simply no place in American public discourse for hate and violence displayed in Charlottesville, Virginia. Just before meeting with Canadian Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland, Tillerson commented on the shared values between the United States and Canada.
And I think that's why it's appropriate to comment on the recent events in Virginia and our condemnation of that kind of hate and violence. There is just simply no place for that in our public discourse, and I want to add our own condemnation to that.
A day before President Donald Trump insisted that both left and right-wing extremists were violent during a weekend rally by white nationalists in Charlottesville. For Eagle News, I am Lynn Pence, and I am 1 with 25.
Thank you, Lynn. U.S. President Donald Trump disbanded 2 high-profile business advisory councils on Wednesday after corporate CEOs quit in protest at his remarks blaming violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, not only on white nationalists, but also on the protesters who opposed them. Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump announced the dissolution of the American Manufacturing Council and Strategic and Policy Forum after a series of chief executives, including Campbell Soup Company's Denise Morrison and 3M Company's Inge Thulin, abandoned the panels. Blackstone Group CEO Stefan Schwarzman, a close ally of Trump in the business world, headed the Strategic and Policy Forum. Two sources said Schwarzman organized a call on Wednesday for member executives to voice concerns after Trump's comments, and an overwhelmingly majority backed disbanding the council. Schwarzman then called Trump to tell him about the decision to disband, and the president subsequently announced he was the one pulling the plug on the panels. Trump said on Twitter, "Rather than putting pressure on the business people of the Manufacturing Council and Strategy and Policy Forum, I am ending both." In Saturday's violence, there were clashes between white nationalists staging a rally in Charlottesville and anti-racism activists opposing them. 32-year-old Heather Heyer was killed when a car plowed into the counter-protesters. Among the very few public figures to have publicly voiced support for Trump through the controversy over his response were Vice President Mike Pence, former Ku Klux Klan leader David Duke, and Richard Spencer, the head of a white nationalist group. Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot, Eagle News, always one with 25.
Thank you, Eliza. Colorful balloons paint the Jersey sky. That's next. Eagle News Washington, D.C. will return shortly. Welcome back. This is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Imagine having a bird's eye view of Jersey and New York aboard a beautiful hot air balloon of your choice. Let's join EBC's Carlo Valdez as he takes us to the 36th Annual Quick Check New Jersey Festival of Ballooning. Carlo?
Ever dream of going up, up, and away? Check out the Quick Check Hot Air Balloon Festival here in Reddington, New Jersey, where we will take you on a journey overlooking New Jersey and New York. Travel to New Jersey and check out North America's largest summertime hot air balloon and music festival. About an hour from New York City in Solberg Airport in Reddington, New Jersey, this 3-day annual festival featured music, entertainment, food vendors, 2 mass ascensions, and more than 100 colorful balloons of different shapes and sizes. One can experience an awe-inspiring hot air balloon ride for $225 early in the morning and $250 during the evening. What should we expect to see at this year's festival?
George Thorogood Friday night, Bad to the Bone, right? Pat Benatar on Saturday night. Love is a Battlefield.
A lot of balloons. This is the most balloons at a festival on the East Coast. There's about 100 balloons here. I've got the birthday cake and the panda bear are both mine, and we're here this weekend. And there's several other special shapes here too.
So far, my favorite is the one with the arrows because they're my favorite colors.
The sky's the limit, everyone. So plan a trip here and make it a thrilling chase and an unforgettable summer love at first flight. This is Carlo Valdez reporting from Reddington, New Jersey, and I am forever one with 25.
Thanks, Carlo. That's so beautiful. It just makes me want to sing up and away, my beautiful. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Join us again next time as we bring news that matters to you. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNews.PH. I'm Mace Ramirez. I'm 1 with 25. Happy weekend.